Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Cha Cha Mystique, and you now tuned into Live at Radio. Today, we have a dope interview with a new culture pusher. GMIMS is definitely in the building. He is the son of the legendary DJ Red Alert, y'all. Yeah. Yes, and I think he's in the building already. Let me bring him up in here.
Hello?
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I
I
can't
can't
see
hear you
you.
yet. I'm gonna try to tune back in. Give me 2 seconds. Let me tune back in. I can't hear you.
Okay,
Can
that's
I,
cool. That's cool.
how could you bring me off and bring me back in? When you took me off backstage, I couldn't hear you. When I was backstage, I could hear you. But once you brought me to the stage, I can't hear you anymore. I don't know if you
Oh,
could,
can you
your
hear
mouth
me
is moving
now?
so I could tell you can hear me, but I can't hear you.
Oh, okay. So I'm removed you and let him get back in the building. But yes, first I want to send a shout out to all my haters. Without you, this can't be possible. I've acquired new followings, I've acquired new subscribers, and things like that. And we definitely gonna rectify the situation after the show. But we're gonna not focus on the negative and definitely tune into the positive. We got G Mims in the building. Don't
Yes,
forget the
yes.
dollar sign.
Hey, yeah, that's right. The dollar
Hey, Harlem
sign.
in the building.
Yes,
I
yes.
didn't know you was that close to me. I would have pulled up to you.
Well, we could have did it live. Well, we got to do one live now.
Yeah, we definitely got to do that. Yes, yes. So I was telling the audience, and shout out to everybody who's here already. Please share the room.
Is there a link? I needed the link. I needed the link I can just send to anybody.
Yeah, you can send it to people
Word? I
and they
didn't know. I
could
thought it
pull
was a
up.
personal link.
Say that
Somebody,
again.
I thought it was a personal link.
No, you could. I'll give you permission to send it to people if they want to pull up and talk stay Harlem shit. They could definitely do that.
All right, I'm the same link that I just had. While I'm talking to you, I'm gonna send it.
Yeah, you could tell them to. But that's for people to come up as a guest. If they
Oh,
want to
okay, okay.
tune in, they could just go on my YouTube.
All right. Bet.
Okay.
All right.
So you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yes. So you've been in the game for a minute, and one of the things that I love about you, you are no short of any bars.
You said what I'm saying
Been in
again?
Sway in the Morning. You've been on Funkmaster Flex.
Yes.
You've been on Hip Hop Live, and it's
Mhm.
been amazing. So I understand that you're the son of the legendary DJ, cool DJ, Red Alert, y'all. Yeah. But outside of that, what made you fall in love with hip hop?
I mean, really, before that, that wasn't even the first influence. Honestly, that was one of the barriers. Like it was one of the like clouds. Like it was kind of a big shooter field. My first influence came from like really my first influence just a need to express myself. You know what I mean? I had a friend named Preview in sixth grade. He was like signed. He was like the first person I knew that was like signed as a rapper and so young that I knew. You know, so seeing him kind of peeling the curtain back and letting me know what he was exposed to and the kind of fun that he had it kind of raised my interest. And I also used to be in like little music videos and stuff. I was in like DMX music video. I don't want to say little. I was in like videos, how it's going down. I was in a couple other videos that probably weren't as prominent, but I always kind of was seeing hip hop from that form outside of um, Red's influence forever. What's up, my brother? Forever. It's always been an influence to me. Outside of that, also my high school was very artistic. They had a recording studio in my high school, and that was kind of like unheard of if I could think about it for a high school. You know, so I had many different influences. I started like instead of writing book reports, I used to just like write rhymes and stuff like that.
Yes, and it
Mhm.
shows.
Thank you.
It very much shows. But go
Thank you.
ahead, finish. You can finish before I get to my next question.
Am I ready for the next question?
Yeah, no, I thought you were still trying to say something.
No, no, I'm
But
listening.
yeah, so how was it growing up with a father such as yours? You know, I know his time was split between his career and his families and things like that. So what was that like, and how long did you know before how important your father was to the hip hop culture?
Um, it has its ups and downs. You know what I mean? It was a time where I wasn't ready for the type of attention that it came with, and I wanted to kind of just be myself and make my own name for myself, just personally. That's outside of even music. You know what I mean? Just personally, and then honestly, I started like, and I started recognizing. I'm gonna say it started. I started realizing his benefits and who he was when we started kind of like engaging in the same events, and I started to kind of like. But I've always, when I think about it, listen, we used to walk to 125th Street and get stopped on every block 2, 3 times, so I kind of knew. You know what I mean? I always knew, but when our world started meshing through throughout that path is when it started becoming. Um, Something I began to be prideful about. I was always prideful about it, but like I said, it just wasn't in my world as much, and it was always kind of like being called like Little Red or whatever other things that I had to deal with that kind of just made me want to find a name for myself, really. But it has opened up many doors. But the way we work is I got to do this myself. Like I gotta put this work in the way I know how to and the way I was shown and taught. And that's the only way I'm truly gonna get respect in this game. Like this isn't like basketball, or I don't even say like basketball, but this isn't like a corporate world where like because you're the sibling of someone you could kind of skip the ladder and get hired. You know what I mean? You can, but it doesn't really create a legacy. You know what I mean? It just adds to whoever wing you came under. And I think it's really important for us to show that
Yeah,
I'm here to add to the culture and I take from it. And with
yeah,
that mindset, you want to carve out your own. You want to carve out your own legacy. So that's what it's always inspired me to do. Seeing him get up and work every day, seeing that he gets up in the morning and act like he's an unknown DJ from your unknown local DJ. He gets up and works hard like he's your unknown local DJ for real. And his work ethic is what inspires me the most. Musically, I mean, it's a lot of things that he was a part of in this music industry to say yeah, he's not. It'd be impossible to say he's not influenced. You know what I mean? But a lot of my approach as a rapper differs a little bit from his approach as a DJ. And in those moments, I got to be able to stand on my own and know how I want to create. So it's just been important for me to create my own identity through the journey of being, having a pops that is historical and super legendary. Um,
yeah.
he's dope.
And I
So
can only imagine it could make
I,
the process harder, especially when you're trying to find your own voice and go out there and not be so much associated.
yeah. Well, it's not that I didn't
I
want to
know you can
associate
find it
myself.
mad
It's
difficult.
I was
Go
saying it's
ahead.
not that I didn't want to associate myself. It's more so that I just wanted to be myself in a room. You know what I mean? I wanted to be myself and be me in a room, and or not, or just be low in a room. But finding myself wasn't hard, but figuring out how I wanted to be an artist and finding myself was a little hard. You know what I mean? It was a little hard mentally. You know what I mean? But I want to say I started noticing. Yeah, I really have had many examples. It's times you used to be in the house and be on the radio or be on TV and be in the house, and you watch Juice or I watch a music video or something like that, and instantly I would see him. Thank you. I would see him in the house and on the radio, or in the house and on TV, and I knew he was somebody of a big deal. And like there was plaques in the house, trophies in the house. I was trying to get basketball trophies to add up to his music award trophies, like what I mean. So it was plenty of examples of his greatness. It was plenty of examples of his greatness. I can't say it was one particular moment. I used to see when him and my mom got married. I think a picture of them was in the Word Up magazine. Like I knew something was up. You know what I mean? So, and they got, they got married when I was like 10. It I knew something was up. Yeah, I knew something was up early. Yeah,
Yes.
early.
So I mean, you come from a legendary family. Not only is your father the legendary cool DJ of Red Alert, y'all, but you also related to Craig Mack. So
Yeah,
what was that relationship like?
but
Growing
I
up,
was
I saw
super
the
young.
early days pictures, and did you know how his career started the whole big world of Bad Boy to begin with. So what was
Yeah,
that like? And I see that you also paid homage to him and redid the Flavor in Your Ear song. So
yeah.
how did his influence cater to honing in on your craft?
Um, it so Craig, R.P. Craig Mack. I was very
Yes,
young.
rest in peace, Fred Mack.
I was very young. Dad, you went mute again.
Up. I think we lost him. I think we lost him, but he definitely will be back in the building. Here he go. I think somebody trying to call him.
Yeah, my phone went off. Sorry, sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's
Um,
okay. So yeah, back to Craig Mack and his
yeah. So,
influence on your career because your father's a DJ, but
mhm,
Craig Mack was a rapper artist. You
yes,
know what I'm saying? And that's
yeah.
something that you do. So how was that growing up, and how did that influence your music?
Um, yeah. I've met him a couple times when I was younger. I didn't get to meet him as much when I was younger. He's a cousin from my mother's side, and and I did know Craig Mack was who Craig Mack was by the time I met him, and we were at his home in Virginia in the South. We had a great time. A lot of my family was there, and I know he kept up with my mom and my pops a lot. So, um, I also know he had his different views on hip hop and the hip hop industry and the culture. So, um, I never really got to engage as an artist with him. I don't really even think we spoke much when I became an artist. But I am going to say that he was an influence, and I didn't know. I learned later that his record was a record that really kind of popped Bad Boy off. But I'm honored to be able to say that that's a family member of mine, and I did the song to pay homage, and went out to the Flushing to go shoot the video and like the same with the world and all of that, and it meant the world to me to kind of pay homage to him, and I wish he was around to get to see that video and get to see me in this form. It would have been dope. But I'm just man, I'm just honored to represent so much prestige and so much legacy. And my whole goal is to kind of push it forward, push the torch forward as much as I can before the next one picks up and do what they have to do. So and kind of leave a blueprint for how I got here or how I did what I did. You know what I mean? I want it to be easier for the next talent to be exposed and to get to be put on good black platforms. You know what I mean? I want the legacy to continue. It don't stop with me, and it shouldn't stop with anybody. It should be continuous so that culture um, continues to grow. Right now, hip hop is the number one genre I think in the world,
It is all
and
around the world. We
it's
influence
not
the
it's
world,
not done.
Craig.
It's not done.
Yes,
So
yes, and we, artists like yourself is very much needed in this world of chaos and BS happening in the music industry. So it's very important. One thing that you said was, you know, Craig Mack's views on hip hop. not just the music, but the business behind it. You
Yeah.
know, how does that prepare you jumping into the music business and being on your guard? Because you know there's a lot of sharks, there's a lot of
Mm.
snakes, you know, and learning from his career could give you a lot of gems. So what is the most important thing that you learned from Craig Mack and his theories and experience in the hip hop business and the music business?
I I mean, I don't want to be. I don't think I learned anything in that manner from Craig. You know what I mean? Only because I just didn't get to know him in my earlier years. You know what I mean? A lot of things that Craig was just an inspiration. It was like one of those. Well, if my family, if someone in my family can do it, I can do it too. You know what I mean? It was more of an example of, a lot of times we look at success or famous people like a level of omit until you get to know them as a person and you get to realize it's possible to do this. Like it's in arm's reach. It's attainable. So more things are more attainable than we really realize. And I would be lying if I said I learned anything directly from him. I didn't. But I did learn to have my own entertainment lawyer, incorporate myself, um, reread my contracts, ask questions, um, renegotiate contracts. I learned a lot of those things that early because even Red, like he represents a lot of, like, we love Nipsey and stuff, but like someone like my posse, if you do the homework, has had his own production label, own management label, own. He's been doing that for a while now. I mean, since he started. You know what I mean? He's always he's done business with other labels, but he's had his own incorporation, and that's important. That's real key business boss type stuff, and I think it's important to have a foundation in yourself first before doing business with anyone else. So before you do business, if you don't know, you should go ask, or what you should have is your own LLC or your own trademark. You should be have your sound scan, whatever sound exchange. You should have your DSPs. You should have BMI and the ASCAP. You should have all of those things established for yourself before a label comes to sign you. You know what I mean? Because those things are all available to you, and that's free information as well. So a lot of times people just want to skip the line and skip the steps, and they rather pay somebody else to do it. And I get it. Like, I seen Diddy's last meme, it was great, I loved it. I pay people so I don't have to work hard, but at the same time, Diddy put in a lot of working hard before he was able to pay people to work hard, and that be the misconception. You know what I mean? You want to make sure your stuff is done right, then I suggest you do it first yourself before you jump into signing for someone to do it for you. um, or try
Yeah,
to do it.
Puff get
And when
the
I say do
luxury
it
to do
yourself,
that
I just mean
now.
seek the information, seek your own help, seek
Yeah,
in-house help. I don't mean do it by yourself. That's another like misconception in this game. Like a rapper will be like, or anybody will be like, I did this on my own. I built this myself. And it's not literally yourself. Like, I didn't literally do this myself. I say I'm independent, but I'm not alone. You know what I mean? I represent
it
me,
takes a team.
and yeah, I may have built this team and everything that has come with it, but I didn't do this alone. This isn't an alone game. You know what I mean? When I say do it yourself, doesn't mean do it literally by yourself. It just means seek your own resources before you start paying people to use theirs. Don't jump into that so fast. So that's what I really learned the most.
Yes. So I didn't know me and you bumped heads with each other at one time.
Word?
Um, yeah, we did. I didn't realize it until I was stalking your page preparing for this.
Okay.
So where we both was at, I'm pretty sure you went to Miss too, because I was at Miss too. Were
Yes.
you at Miss
Yes.
when your father was doing the events at Miss?
Yes. I was at a couple. I was at enough of them. Not every one,
Yeah.
but I was definitely.
So we probably missed each other then, and we
Yeah.
also missed each other at Fred the Godson's street naming.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah, I was there.
Yes, I
I
was
covered
definitely
the
there.
event.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you
was
said you what?
definitely in the building freezing because we all know it was
It
snowing that
snowed that
day.
day. Fred let it made it snow that day.
Right? It snowed so hard, and then everybody was outside. And for hours, what I respect about it was how they let it go. Like you had the speakers there, Fat Joe, Jim Jones, which I
Mm.
see, he's in your videos as well. things like that. And you know, I see that you give him his props, right?
Mhm.
Was that the inspiration, or at least one of the inspirations to your new single, Plandemic?
Um, it wasn't my inspiration, but he was definitely on my mind, and it definitely made me. It gave it purpose for me. Um, my inspiration was from my man Dr. Ford. That was my inspiration. He kind of inspired me to do it, but Fred was definitely on my mind. I think I said a line. I said something about how I even lost close friends to me, and he
Yeah,
was
you
heavy on
did
my
say that.
mind. Yeah, taking a loss, and I lost many other people that are close and that are family members, and I have family members that lost people. It was tough, but losing Fred was kind of like it hit home. You know what I mean? I spent a lot of time with him. He was definitely a mentor to me. He was definitely a teacher, a connector. He was throwing me the alley oops like no tomorrow. Fred means the world to me. Fred is big inspiration to me. Big. He helped me get better. Fred means the world to me. He means the absolute world to me.
Rest in peace, Fred the Godson. There will
Yes.
never be another one like him. One of my favorite things, how his wordplay was amazing. Like the
Yes.
way he would just put the words together and to tell his story or to make a track hot. I got to be at a few events with him. And I appreciate the small time that we did have with each other. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And and the people around him, it seems like he always gave somebody an opportunity, or him just being beside him landed you in places, whether it was reality TV or doing tracks with other people and things like that. So shout out to him, and I just wanted to pay homage to him. Now, you said somebody really suggested it to you. Can you repeat the name again?
Suggested what?
Say it again.
I said somebody suggested what to me?
The Plandemic song.
Dr. Ford. Shout out to my man
Dr.
Dr.
Ford.
Ford. Yeah, that's my man. He was the person who kind of had the idea, and he kind of brought the idea to me, and he had some. He had wrote down some stuff that he wanted to say, and I basically took that, added it with my bars and stuff, and made it into a rhyme, and made it into a song, and that's my guy, man. Dr. Ford was dope, man. He's kind of let me do me, and so far so good. Everything has been kind of expanding with it, and the message has been growing. It was important for me to kind of do something with someone like a doctor, like Dr. Ford, a holistic doctor, a black doctor that just wanted to stand for something. It meant the world to me to be a part of a message like that.
Yes, because it's kind of a contrast in what you've been doing. A lot of your music is fun, club, hood shit,
Mm.
things that you could ride in your car and smoke one with,
Yeah.
or, things like that. So it was refreshing to hear that kind of conscious music from you and things like
Mm.
that. Do you feel like that's the path you're going to be taking moving forward?
I mean, I got tons of songs like that. I got like a lot of like I don't want to say tons, but I have a lot of moments where I rap about conscious things. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say I'm a conscious rapper, but I'm a very conscious person. So I'm aware that I could create something that moves people and kind of inflicts a good emotion, a popular emotion, or I can inflict an emotion at all. And I think that that's good to use it as a tool to do good with. You know what I mean? I have other songs that I'm gonna drop that resemble that same type of, not about pandemics or COVID or nothing like that, but about uh, just different topics that I think the people that speaks for the people. You know, I think it's important to use my voice in those manners, and putting out and releasing it tastefully. Like you said, I do have different styles. I kind of drop different kinds of music, so it's just important for me to do it at a certain point. I don't want it to ever seem trending or as if I'm using it. Hit a great voice in the background. Um, I don't ever want to use it as a promotional tool or something like that. I want it to be purposeful, as I said earlier,
Yeah, and
and with
authentic.
intent. And in order for me to do that, I have to kind of put it out as it's one with my spirit.
Mm, I feel you. Do you feel like putting out that type of music is going to hinder your career or make it harder for you to achieve success? Because let's keep it real. A lot of
I
these
think in this
record
day and
labels.
age, I'm sorry, was I answering too fast?
No, I mean, go ahead. Because what I was going to say is, because let's keep it real. This record label, they want especially the young people to off themselves. They want them to constantly be echoed music that could be detrimental to life and the progression of Black people, where we actually in the midst of destruction as opposed to building. They don't really like that too much, and then it becomes a trend and program people, and then people start to be conditioned not to want to be able to think. So how do you feel you want to go about putting that type of conscious music without deterring record labels as well as your audience?
Can you say that last question again?
I said, how you think putting out music like that, um, like the record labels and your audience is going to respond to that the more you put out conscious records?
If it moves the people, I don't think it matters. You know what I mean? If it affects an emotion, I don't think it matters. And then honestly, I'm I'm a I'm an independent artist. I can honestly do what I want.
Mhm.
Truly. Um,
So you
and
want to stay independent? You don't
no,
want to be signed or
I
have
would
like a
definitely
distribution
I
deal?
would definitely work with um I would definitely work with more artists, and I would definitely work with more. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say artists. I definitely would work with other labels and other entities. I would have no problem doing that. What I'm not gonna do is I'm not gonna limit my voice if I'm passionate about saying something for a label or for anybody's opinion. What's up? What I do feel like is certain people that need to hear it, and this also this day and age, music doesn't stick for long. I'm not saying my music won't, but what I'm saying is it's kind of like the next on to the next. So by the time I drop another song or another feeling, it'll change. I think if people have an emotion or a reaction, that's what music is supposed to do. That's what I think. I feel like that's what it's supposed to do. So regardless of if you like it or not, if you listen to it, it counts.
Yeah,
If you internalize it, it counts. Especially if you internalized it, because that means you might
yes.
listen to it
Because
again,
that
even though
stays
you
with you.
dislike it. You might listen to it again just to talk about how much you don't like it, but you listening to it, so you internalize something about it, and I'm okay with that. Everybody's not going to agree with every opinion that I have on my music, and my music isn't meant to make everybody agree. Sometimes I might say things that are meant for other people that might have nothing to do with my opinion. It might be necessary to be said, and I'm okay with that because, like I said, as an artist, the point is also to speak for people, and everybody might not have the same opinion, and
Yes.
right, that comes with
I
it, right? I
feel
think Usher said "Confessions" wasn't even a song about him. It wasn't even, it wasn't, but everybody thought that everybody, it inflicts such an emotion from everybody that listened. Everybody felt like he was talking about him and his situation, and he wasn't. It wasn't even about him. So I think that's key. That's key. It's just inflicted emotion, and if you do it tastefully, it doesn't have to come off so harsh where people can choose to not to cut you off or not. You know what I mean? We have different kind of artists now in this world, in this industry now. The artists are openly in all types of preferences, openly on all types of sides of politics, openly on all types of circumstances. Free, in jail. People are more transparent about their feelings and what they represent now. And I think if they have that right, I have that right as well.
yes. We
And
all have that right.
I have
Some people
no
abuse
intentions
that right
to do
though.
any.
Some people abuse that right a little bit too much sometimes. But yeah, we all do have that right. And I want to see that from you because I feel like, you know, a lot of this music needs to have a break where somebody's actually saying something than producing it, because everything sounds the same, even though you have like groups like Griselda, like Benny, and people like that actually getting back to what hip hop sounded like,
Yeah.
what we all appreciate and call legendary. But at the same time, some of the content, just to keep their fan base in order, they revert to the same kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Even though their flow is different. Now, outside of the pandemic single, you got a whole anthem out here, a whole Harlem anthem. So let's talk about it, because I love that song. I be in there doing the old
Yeah.
Jim Jones to it, hey, doing the Harlem shake and everything. So yes, let's talk about it.
This is Harlem. That was a dope record for
This
me,
is
a
Harlem.
milestone moment. That's the first song I ever did with the Heat Makers. Shout out to the Heat Makers. Awesomeness is also very
Yeah, shout
important to
out
my
to the Heat
career.
Makers, and that's huge.
Yes, yes, that's a awesomeness is big influence to me. You kept asking about influences. That man right there is one of the biggest influences in my life. Um, he's the reason why. He's one of the reasons why I was able to build for myself outside of my pops, who's such an enormous person. I mean, it took an enormous person like Awesomeness to kind of meet me for me. I met him through somebody that has nothing to do with my pops, and he appreciated me for who I was and what I have to offer as an artist. And since then, the trajectory of my career has always been very
Yes,
fast and accelerated very fast, considering the curve. You know what I mean? Austin is big to me. So this Harlem came out. We shot the video. Shout out to my man Ken, and the video was dope. We shot it more on the downtown side of Harlem, but we droned and made sure we got a little bit of everything, and it's kind of working. It's working. It's working.
yes,
It's a blessing, it's an honor. It's an honor. It's an honor because things like that aren't guaranteed that the people gonna like it, and the people are liking it, and I'm hyped. I'm hyped about that.
yes. It's fire. I mean, I love that track. Now, with the pandemic and this is Harlem track, is that a project coming out or already out, or
This
are
is
you just dropping singles?
so it's a multitude of things going on. Pandemic is its own project that I'm doing with Dr. Ford. That's my own mission that I'm doing with Mass Consciousness, and
Yes.
my this is Harlem is a part of a project called That Instrument. That Instrument is one of my is the name of my last project that I put out on. It's on all streaming platforms and also available on my website. Um, but
So
you
with
asked
the
about
This Is Harlem track, right? That has its own project. But the pandemic, what is gonna be like an album of conscious
I don't
music,
want to say it's gonna be an album. It's gonna be more like a movement. It's gonna be more like
a
a real
movement?
actual project. Got video, got song. We've had some live stream broadcasts already that kind of went across like 14 different countries.
Well,
Um,
you need to have me on it because I'll be all philosophical with
nah,
it.
I'm
I
gonna
be
have
with
you
the
around. I'm gonna keep you close. I'm gonna keep you close. I already
yes,
decided
I'll
as
be
we
with the
talking.
right
Like
knowledge,
I
yo.
gotta keep Cha close. We gotta do this more often and tune into
Yeah,
more
we
things. I got
do.
some
You need
more
to come
stuff
up
we could
here
do.
and we could talk music. We could debate stuff. I would love
All
it.
right, yeah, let's do it. And also I've been dropping every week. So when you said something, you hit it on all of the no's, all three, because I've been dropping like every week for like the last 10 weeks, whether it's a video or a song, and it has been great. Like it has been great. Last 3 months has been great just doing that. And one my man told me a couple months ago. He's like, yo, you being stingy to your fans. Like, you got all this good music and you're not letting them hear it, only you hearing it. And that really kind of sat with me. And after that, I just decided to like drop songs every week and just give my people some music. And it's been kind of turning over really fast in a sense of opportunities and the people that I'm touching and reaching. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple more records and I'm going to put it out as an entire project called Don't Forget the Dollar Sign. And
Yes.
that's going to be coming out real soon. That's probably going to be one of my week drops coming soon. Is That's really going to be the next like real important drop. Is I'm gonna drop it with plus some songs, new songs, and they're gonna. I have a project dropping soon, and I really got a couple projects. I'm already 3 projects in that I would have to drop. So I'm just kind of taking it step by step, making sure I turn every stone. I'm making sure I touch the people, and I don't skip anything, because when this boom, I want it to be such a foundation that we out of here.
Yes, I feel that. But in the meantime, This Is Harlem is definitely a summer anthem. I love the vibe of it all. Like, yes, I wish I didn't get in trouble with copyrights on YouTube because I'll be
It's so
bumping that
good.
right now and let everybody
It's so
listen to
good.
it.
Listen,
Yes,
my name is
yes.
GMIMS. I'm the owner of this at Harlem, and Cha can play it anytime she want. You feel me? She got the
Nah,
right to
you
play
know it
that
don't
song
work like
anytime
that.
she
You
want.
know it don't work like that.
Tell
All
you
You know
rights
it
to
don't
that.
work like
reserved.
that.
All rights are reserved for Cha to play my music. Don't forget the dollar.
Don't forget the dollar.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah.
So I kind of want to talk to you about current events now, especially in hip hop, right? And it's relevant to everything that we're talking about because, like we all know, your father's a DJ,
Mm-hmm.
you're an artist, and one of the people that he's close to because I be hearing Funk Master Flex
Mm-hmm.
with your pops on the radio, right? And we
Yes.
already brought up Griselda, right?
Yes.
So Conway came out and was saying that, a lot of these DJs are gatekeepers and they've been sitting in that position for a very long time, right? And they're not fair when spinning records and things like that. My take on it is, a lot of them really don't have control over the playlist. Those be the music directors and they have to abide by that. But they're saying that younger DJs need to come in so they can play artist music and things like that. And being a rapper yourself, I'm pretty sure you can relate to, having to go through that process of breaking through the doors to get your record played on the radio. So how do you feel about that? Do you feel like some of these so-called gatekeepers need to sit and make room for new DJs to play new music? Or things are great as it is.
I think that Conway is a dope rapper. I love the content that Griselda provides to the culture. I think that Conway is inaccurate, respectfully, or it don't even matter. No disrespect or respect. I think he's wrong. I think he's a little bit contradictive because he's a pretty old rapper as well, and we are in a time where rap has become ageless. You know what
Yes,
I
and
mean?
I hate that they put that
And
ageism
that
in it. I
yeah,
hate
that he
that.
went the age route, and he took the old. We got to get when he said we got to get these old niggas out. To me, he spoke to a class that even included people like my pops. You know what I mean? People that I respect and people that has open doors. And in a way, I just feel like Conway's not from New York City, so he has no understanding of how many doors Flex has opened up for the youth and for the young people in hip hop. You understand?
Yes.
That's
Well, this is my personal opinion, but as annoying as Funkmaster Flex is, you gotta give him his props. I just wish he talked less over
yeah.
the record. But even with all of that, you still gotta give him his flowers. Hello, is it at a standstill? I think it's frozen. If you can hear me, your video is frozen. I hope you could come back in, but if not, I think you might have to go out and come back in. But while he's unfreezing, I just want to say this, right? Oh, there he go. Yeah, he had to get out.
It's over.
Not airplane mode.
Oh,
Do not disturb.
all right. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
You
you now.
good? All right. So
Yes, we
yeah, I
good.
don't think he's from the city, so he don't really have a grasp on what's going on. You know what I mean? So, it's just a little contradictory for me, and I don't like the little old line. I don't. We at a point where music is starting to become ageless. Fat Joe is doing good. Jim Jones is having a reemergence. My pops is still relevant in hip hop to this day. Let's
Yes,
encourage the door being broke down. You know what I mean? Hip hop is the only real culture where when our people get older, we try to throw them away, and any other Anywhere else, they're in the Hall of Fame or they're legends and people honor them. Listen, man, I think that he's wrong. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna. It's not shade. It's really honest. I don't think him a solo is more lit to the city than the people that are lit in the city. If you got
Yeah.
what I'm saying,
And you
I
from the
don't think
city
he.
too, so you have that vantage
And
point
I
of
love
being in the
Griselda, I
city.
love Conway, but I'm just a city dude, and I understand that. Like, he means a lot to hip hop, and what they're doing means a lot to hip hop. But I mean, even the person he signed under don't get radio play. Like Eminem is the most selling rapper of all time, and he don't play on the radio every day in New York. Flex don't play him.
That's a
You know what I mean?
fact.
So let's what's the point we're really making here? You know what I mean? Just to be honest, I don't want him to see this and think that I'm coming for him. You know what I mean? Whatever. You know what I mean? I don't want him to think that because I am a fan. Fred, my man Fred, I know about them through Fred. I'm a big fan of him, but I do think he was wrong. And I do think that maybe he should find the Funk Flex of Buffalo and or make one. You want the young dudes, you know what I mean? Make your young Funk Flex. But even when Funk Flex was that young dude, he had to work to be Funk Flex. And that's what the young dudes that he's talking about are in the middle of doing. They're working their way. But if you just remove
Yeah.
Flex out, would you just put it
I feel the same way. One thing, like, I just don't want the younger generation because it's almost like everything is microwavable. I think your mic, something is going on with your mic. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound like sounds a little laggy, but I hear you.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. Because I'm getting some type of feedback on your end.
Yeah, it's like some feedback.
It sounds like Jason. Kill, kill, kill,
I,
murder, murder, murder. You don't hear me?
I hear you, but it's just like you. No, 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 no.
No, I'm saying your feedback, your feedback,
My background too loud.
your feedback. I'm hearing
Yeah, yeah, I
something
hear
in your background.
feedback. I hear feedback.
Oh, okay. So back to what I was saying. I had put you on mute because your feedback is kind of getting in the way. I don't know if it's like your background or whatever. But what I'm gonna unmute you. But what I wanted to say was, as far as like the legendary icons, the younger generation or even generations like my age, things like that. We gotta stop being so quick to have a temper tantrum. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what is up with millennials and Generation Z's and things like that we want instant gratification all the time. I mean, and then if we don't get it, here comes the temper tantrum, and everybody's doing the utmost and always in their feelings and not truly understanding the business and the politics behind the industry. And I feel like if we get rid of older heads like Funkmaster Flex, those times when he's actually getting the culture right outside of him being annoying over the record, always over talking on the record and doing the most. If you live in New York City, you know what I'm talking about. If you live in New York City and heard the Funkmaster Flex show, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I'm saying these things, how he does as a DJ sometimes. It can be a bit annoying. And he always find that sweet spot when you actually lit up the song and you in your zone, and just when you really about to really be in it, here he come with his shit, right? That's just what Funkmaster Flex does. But if you get rid of that, even with the annoying, he is still historic. If he was gone, those would the things that you complain about would be the things that you miss the most. You understand what I'm saying? And because he's not old, but because he's older than a lot of the artists that's out today, especially the new artists, and he's on the radio, the listeners are getting to hear new school mixed with the old school. They get to go into the nostalgia and get put on to what's new and popping that's out there, so they could still stay relevant, right? And then boom, here he comes. Thank you. And then all kinds of extra bombs and shit. You think you in Vietnam and all of that, and it's like, yo, Play the song. Just play the song. Please play the song. Like you killing my vibe. Like I'm vibing right now and you killing my vibe. And that's Funk Flex. But at the same time, those be the things that you would miss if he wasn't here. Those the things that you complain about are the things that you will be missing from him. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, he because he's older, he's able to bridge the gap. He's able to bridge the gap between the generations. He's in tune. You can't say he's not in tune because he be having all the new artists come and do bars on his show. And he's been in the culture 30 years. He's been here for almost 30 years. He's been here long enough to have watched hip hop grow. So he knows the inner workings and the dynamics of it. He was here, excuse me, DJing every time the culture changed or did a shift or something like that. So he's very seasoned in that aspect. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is for me. I don't know if he's gonna come back. I hope he comes back so we can end it off the right way. But I feel like it's important that we constantly always find innovative ways to push the culture forward and try to find businesses that we could profit off our own culture because all other cultures do the same thing. They sit there, they find something that they could tap into. Mind you, and shout out to Ralph McDaniels and all the earlier rappers. None of this was popular until they felt like they could make money off of it. Ralph McDaniels, the first real VJ of hip hop, nobody was trying to put him on MTV, BET, and none of that stuff because they felt like it was a quick trend or fade that was gonna go away. It was just something that these kids was doing now for the moment, and it'd change up just like disco did. Disco wasn't out long, and it soon quickly changed into hip hop. That was the black culture in America. So, or some of the earlier pioneers like Disco King Mario. A lot of people had disco in their name because they were the DJs of those parties and they were a part of that transition. So we have to figure out ways to make money on our own. And on some real shit, I don't understand why Conway is complaining about it because being visible to your audience is in the artist's hands these days. Even if you're not being played on a nationally syndicated radio, I gotta ask myself, even though I'm not an artist, but I gotta ask myself, is that very necessary? Especially if you already have a huge following. If you have all these streaming services at your disposal where you can upload your content, is this so-called mainstream important? When you putting your own self in front of your own audience, especially if you have a large following like a Griselda, like a Conway. You mean to tell me if Conway was to upload his music to Spotify, YouTube, whatever the case may be, he's not going to receive no type of check? You mean to tell me that if he's not being played on Hot 97 and things like that, his fans is not going to listen to him? I'm just saying. Now I get it. I get it. I get it because historically, even way before hip hop, any artist that was out there putting music, one of those special in pocket moments was hearing your song on the radio when you're driving in your car. That's like, nigga, we made it type moment. You know what I'm saying? That's the I'm here. That's the one of the ultimate validations of all the hard work, blood, sweat, and tears, and everything that went into making that song or making that album, and then to finally hear it on the radio. You know, it means something. But my thing is, does it really mean something now? Still, especially since artists have more power with their content. You know what I'm saying? Is he crying for no reason, or he is legit with how he feels? Let me know in the comments below how you feel about this situation with Conway and Funk Master Flex. I mean, even Pete Rock came back and said something to Funk Flex, and it became an even bigger issue. Now Funk Flex and Pete Rock of Pete Rock and CL Smooth is currently going at it on social media. So I don't know. I hope they all figure it out. Griselda, Conway, and Benny, they new legends. Pete Rock, Funk Flex is iconic legends that their careers are sealed and stamped in this industry and culture of hip hop. They definitely paved the way for so many people, and I hope we could all figure this thing out seriously. I think I'm gonna wrap this up. But I want to give a shout out to GMIMS for stepping in the building. He has a dope head on his shoulders, and it's good to see. I like talking to artists and really get a glimpse of who they really are outside of the music, outside of the music videos, outside of the quirky Instagram posts and things like that. And to let me know, people are not as slow or out of tune with reality. He took time to really acknowledge the reality of what we're going through as a society right now. And not a lot of artists are doing that. And even if they are, they're scared to really be honest with themselves as well as their audience. You know what I'm saying? Artists are very influential and can inspire the masses to do great things. So we have to be careful with who we let in the culture. That's why we do need a funk master flex and people who know better that can actually be the filter. Even though there's a lot of bullshit being played and stuff like that, and I feel like they have to do a better job. And I know they don't have the final say of what they could play. They have a program director they got to abide by, and a list of records they have to do. And I get all the politics behind it, but the real hip hoppers know, and I hope there be more brave ones like DJ K Slade. Shout out to DJ K Slade, where he gave all the artists that never had a voice before, gave them the opportunity to be heard by his following, and that was very necessary. And I hope the current DJs right now get inspired by that and actually do something with the constant echoing of the same music all the time, and once in a while give us something that's dope and fresh. I feel like it's very necessary, and that too will push the culture forward and provide us with new artists that could really change the world or affect the minds of a people. Because music is frequency, and frequency changes people's vibration. And we need more positive vibrations, more high frequencies, so we could actually do something better than what we did yesterday. And with that being said, I want to thank everybody that tuned in with us today. It has been another dope live at radio, another dope interview, and I'm gonna keep G Mims on. Don't forget the $ on his fucking word, and we definitely gonna connect. And you're gonna see more things from us. And yeah. So peace, love, and everything else. Stay positive, stay bright, and make sure you do the damn thing so we could push the culture forward. And with that being said, I'm definitely up off this. Salute.